Hello friends. So it's about the customer analytics. The next topic, it's about the customer analytics. Now, what do you mean by customer analytics? That first of all, we are to collect the data, we are to process the data, we are to interpret something about the customers from that particular data. Why we want to collect data, why we are analyzing that data, why we are basically doing the analytics, because we want to understand the behavior of the customer, that how they are doing the transactions, how the transactions being performed, how they are acting with the system, what are their preferences, what are their needs, and what are the characteristics related to it. So we want to like look into it, we want to get the insights for these things, for the customer behavior, for the preferences, for the needs, and the for the characteristics that we want to do, right? And if we look at the customer analytics in the retail banking, the first point, it's related to enhancing the customer engagement and strategy. That's why we want to do it. Let's say we're having the multiple touch points. Touch points means, let's say when the customer is interacting with the system, the customer is either coming to the branch or going to the ATM or using the internet banking, mobile banking, right? We want to showcase the personalized product offering to them. We want to target the marketing campaign to the particular customer. It's not like that, let's say you're having the crores of the customers, you do not want to basically showcase ad to everyone. Let's say you're selling a product online and further you want to go for a Google ad. So it's not like the case that you want to showcase the ad to each and everyone. You're not you're not want to just create the awareness, but you want only to target the specific customer. So that targeting can be done through the customer analytics. So if you are having the data related to the customers, and if you have processed that particular data, and further then you can be targeting that how this customer is like behaving, what is his or her profile, and further what you can be offering to that particular customer. So definitely that will be leading to the higher customer satisfaction, and also the increased loyalty will be there. Like if you know the customer is a salaried class person, right? And further, if you know that his or her credit score is this one, you can be offering this particular loan to the person, and you know that what is their transaction pattern and all. You can be offering a specific product to the customer, and definitely the customer satisfaction will be increased, the customer loyalty will be increased with that. That's basically said to be the enhancing the customer engagement and management strategy. So that's the first point related to it, related to the customer analytics in the retail banking, that how it can be helping you. The second thing, it is related to the institutionalization of the customer relationships. We can say it's about the institutionalization of the customer relationships. Like you can be understanding the customer expectations, and how you can be understanding the customer expectations from the data that you are dealing with. Let's say you are having the data with you, the customer is dealing with the bank, the customer is like meeting on the multiple touch points, and further and further you are having the data, financial data related to customer, you can be offering a very specific and tailored product to the customer, right? So according to this particular thing, when you're tailoring something, when you're providing a customized financial product to the customer, definitely the long-term relationship building will be there, and definitely the retention will be improved. The customer retention will be improved. Why? Because now you're not offering just a product, you're offering a tailored product, you're offering a tailored services to the customer, so as to meet the individual customer requirement, so as to meet the individual customer requirement. So the much more improved customer retention is there, long term relationship building is there. So that's how it's going to help you. Further, it's about the customer attrition score, the third one, the customer attrition scores. So using the data, you can be identifying that what customers are likely to leave. They won't be coming back to you. So based upon their transaction pattern, let's say a account is not activated for a long time, and you just get a call from the bank that, sir, we are here to offer you services. What are the different problems you are being facing? And let's just help you so as to make banking much more fruitful to you, or something like that. So based upon the transaction patterns, you can be identifying that. Based upon the activity decline, you can be looking into it, and the action can be taken. The retention strategy can be like performed. You can be offering them something. You can be engaging with the customers, right? So the customer attrition can be reduced. Further, it's about the profitability. Now, if you're offering a customized product to the customer, or you're offering the products to those customers who are high profitable customers, so you'll be measuring what? You'll be measuring the profitability per customer, or you'll be measuring the profitability over the segment, and then you'll be offering the product as such that in what particular segment we can be earning much more profit, and for the over the what customers we can be earning the much more profit, then you concentrate on those only, right? So let's say first of all I'm concentrating on the those fruits which are giving me the much more points, right? After that I'll be focusing on those fruits which are giving me, let's say, lesser points, right? So it will be increasing my overall profitability, right? And further it can be helping you so as to segmentation. Now, if you're having the transaction patterns with you, you can be categorizing the customer on the demographic basis. Let's say the age, gender, income, occupation, etc. Based upon the behavioral patterns, like what is their spending pattern, and based upon the product range that's being offered to them. Like if the person wants a loan, or we can mobilize the deposits from them, or we can be offering, let's say, the debit cards or credit cards to them. So when you do that, it's basically going to enable the targeted offerings, because you know to whom what you are offering. So if person is basically saving, it's basically the person does not want the loan. So why to offer a loan to the person? We can be offering some, let's say, mutual fund to the customer. We can be offering some insurance plan to the customer, so that will be helping, right? So let's say if the customer is already having tens or twenties of lakhs in the saving fund account, then why to offer a loan to the customer? We can be offering something good to the customer, right? So that's basically about it, right? So this is how it can be helping the customers, so as for retention purposes, so as to increase your overall profitability, so as to reduce the attrition rate, so as to basically increase the customer relationship, and the customer engagement can be increased. And that's about the customer analytics. The next topic that we're going to cover, it's about the wealth management solutions. It's about the wealth management solutions. When we're talking about the wealth management solutions, it's about the comprehensive financial services or strategies that's those are being followed. So the comprehensive financial services and strategies being followed, so, and those are being designed so as to help the individuals and families so that they can be increasing or growing their wealth. We want to, let's say, manage the customers investments or the group investment, or we want to, let's say, want to achieve some financial goals. We are having some financial goals and we want to achieve those financial goals. So it's just like that you place funds with the bank, right? You place funds with the bank, and the bank is following the multiple strategies so that your funds can grow, so that the funds can grow, and further they are going to manage those particular funds, right? And further there are some goals which will be there, financial goals which we are to achieve, right? And also so as to provide you with the long term security, long term financial security, we can say. So that's about the wealth management solutions. And there are multiple components in it. There are multiple components in the wealth management. What are the different components? The one component, it's about the investment planning, like where the amount is to be invested. And it could be a active planning or it could be a passive planning. Like in active planning, the bank will be deciding actively, and in case of passive planning, it will be just like that 20% part will be going to the equity, the 30% part will be going to the mutual funds and all, right? Something like that. And further, the second component, it's about the tax planning. The first component, it's about the investment planning. The second component, it's about the tax planning, or it could be related to the retirement planning, and further it could be related to the complete estate planning. So these are the components related to the wealth management solutions. So the first point that we are going to cover, it's about the digital lending. Digital lending. So in case of digital lending, like what do you mean? Like the complete process related to lending, like end-to-end process, lending process, that will be conducted digitally. The loan will be sourced digitally, the credit appraisal will be done online, the risk assessment will be done digitally, and the disbursement will be done digitally. So everything from the very start to the very end, everything will be performed digitally. So definitely when you are performing everything digitally, it will be very much quick, it will be seamless, because people are not, let's say, interacting with the system, and it's being done automatically. It's a seamless process, and it's a paperless processing, and the paperless processing is being done. So when we are talking about sourcing the loan, appraisal, risk assessment, disbursement, each and everything will be done automatically, will be done automatic. That's about the digital lending, right? And what is the regulatory framework for the same? The regulatory framework for the same is issued by whom? It is issued by the, because related to lending and all, the framework is being issued by the Reserve Bank of India only. So in this case also the framework is given by the Reserve Bank of India only, and it is basically based upon, like, lending is allowed to whom? It is allowed to the regulated entities. So the point is that the regulated entities, the regulated entities, or let's say the legally permitted entities, who have basically taken the approval from the Reserve Bank of India, who have taken a certificate from of authorization from the Reserve Bank of India, they are basically permitted, they are permitted that they can be sanctioning the loans. They are permitted that they can be sanctioning the particular loans. Clear with it? Right? So what are the highlights of the regulatory framework? First of all, let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at the key highlights. The first one, it's about the customer protection and conduct issues. So all loan disbursals, repayments are required to be executed between the bank accounts of the borrowers and the regulated entity. The loan flow will be only between the borrower and the regulated entity, that I meant to say. That's about the loan flow. Let me write over here. So the first point, it's about the loan flow. Only between the borrower and the regulated entity, the loan flow will be there. And also, whatsoever the fees, charges that is payable to the LSP, whatsoever the fees, etc., or let's say any of the charges, right, that is to be paid, that is to be paid directly by the regulated entity, that is to be paid by the regulated entity. Now what is regulated entity? Like a bank or something, that will be paying the fees to the LSP, loans to the loan service provider, right? LSP is what? LSP is a loan service provider, or right? So regulated entity is, let's say, dealing with the customer, and let's say the digital platform is being offered by the particular LSP, right? So fees to the regulated entity, fees to the regulated is paid by the regulated entity to the LSP, not by the customer. The borrower is not to pay the fees to the LSP. It will be the regulated entity that will be paying the fees to the LSP. Clear with it? So LSP is what? LSP is a lending service provider. So let's say it's a agent or a third party entity which is engaged with the regulated entity, right? So as to perform the digital lending functions. It could be the fintech, it could be the digital platform, it could be any other regulated entity also. So the fees to the LSP will be paid by the regulated entity only and not by the borrower. Further, the third one, it's about the KFS. It's about the KFS. What is KFS? KF is a key fact statement. And before the loan agreement, it is mandatory. Then it is about the credit limit. Credit limit. Now, even if the credit limit is to be enhanced, it cannot be enhanced like without the consent. So there is no automatic increase without the consent. Let's say if you're having a credit card and the credit card limit which was offered to you was 1.5 lakh rupees. So it cannot be enhanced without your consent to rupees 2 lakh, or let's say even rupees 1 lakh 50,000 and 1 rupee. No, not like that. So it cannot be enhanced without consent. And there is a cooling off period and the looking up period. Cooling off period and looking up period. Like exit is allowed without any penalty, first of all. Exit is allowed without any penalty. And there is a cooling off period and the looking up period during which the customer can exit the digital loan by paying the principal and the proportionate APR. Like no penalty will be charged. So let's say the 15 days are given to you that if you want to just uh, go, if you just want to exit this loan, you can be exiting the loan without paying any penalty. You're just to pay the principal amount that you basically have borrowed, right? Let's say I borrowed a loan from ABC NBFC online, right? But I want to, let's say, I just don't want to be into it. I just want to exit this loan because I never learned about the terms and conditions properly, right? And I was being charged excessively. So just want to know. And they offered a 15 days period, cooling off period. So in 15 days, I can be exiting from that particular loan without any penalty. I'm just to pay the proportionate APR and the principal amount that I have basically borrowed, and that's it. No penalty will be charged. Further, it's about the grievance officer. So for all the regulated entities, for all the lending service providers, right, it is mandatory that they must be having a grievance, nodal grievance redressal officer. There must be a nodal grievance redressal officer. Like it is mandatory for the regulated entities and the LSPs. And let's say if there is any complaint which is not resolved within a 30 days period, that must be escalated to the ombudsman, banking ombudsman under the RBI iOS scheme. That is Reserve Bank of India integrated ombudsman scheme. It must be escalated, right? So that's about the customer protection and the conduct, first of all. The second thing, it's about the technology and the data requirements. It's about the DLS, that's a digital lending applications. It's about the DLS, technology and the data requirements. So let's say the regulated entity is there and it is having, let's say, an agreement with some NBFC or fintech which is providing the digital lending services, right? And the regulated entity is basically having the data related to the customer which is will be shared by the regulated entity with the NBFC. So data which will be collected by the digital platform or the digital lending, let's say, app, that should be the minimum necessary data only. It's not like that you're receiving bulk of data from the customer. You should be receiving the minimum necessary data only, and there should be the data transparency. So first one, it's about the minimum necessary data, or we can say it's about the data collection, that what data is to be collected, right? So data collection and what data should be collected, the minimum necessary data only should be collected. Second thing, whatsoever the data is collected, it should be transparent. The transparency must be maintained. The data when you're collecting, it should be transparency must be maintained, that what is the purpose, at what time it was collected, how it will be used. The transparency must be there. And always the consent is to be taken from the customer. It should be considered. And for the borrower is to be provided with an option that they can be revoke the consent at any point. So it's about the revocation. So definitely an option should be given to the customer, to the borrower, that if they want to like withdraw the consent, they must be having an option. And also the borrowers must be given a right if they want to delete the data. And also, like, the borrower can be requesting first to delete the data, and also an option should be given to the borrower that they can be deleting the data. So it's about the deletion. It's about the deletion. They must be given an deletion option. Further, it's about the reporting requirements. It's about the regulatory framework, and also it's about the reporting requirements. So all the loans which will be offered under the DLA, under the digital lending applications, under the digital lending, those are to be reported to the CIC, like CIBIL, Equifax, Experian, Highmark, Sierra, IF, Highmark. So those must be reported to the CIC, and it will be applicable to all the loans, irrespective of the tenure, irrespective of the type. Those must be offered. And also, if there is new product which are being offered, that must also be reported to the CIC. That's about it. Clear with it? So that's about the chapter number 12, right? And that will be all about this video. Thank you so much, and see you again in the next video. If you want to get the complete course of JAIIB, the course is available in English only language also, and also the bilingual course is available. Simply just do WhatsApp JAIIB to the number 83609 44207, and I'll be sharing all the details with you. So thank you so much, and see you again.